Two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Reach a certain age, get super into rutabaga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know. I was like 30, and then all of a sudden I was cooking up a rutabaga. I didn't know where I was. I was like, why?
Just come out of a fog.
I was like, when did I even think of rutabaga? I think the only time I've ever heard that reference is the old Donald Duck cartoon book.
Where did I buy this?
Yeah.
Or I remember that as a kid. Like my grandma would make, like, what are we having for dinner, Grandma? Rutabagas or steamed rutabaga or something. Like, she always thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
It is a funny word.
Someone leaves a basket of rutabagas at your front door. What are you going to use them in?
I mean, it's going to be a pain because I have to space them out with all the jicama I'm working with. But and the turnips and the parsnips and the beets, but
I don't know what you do with a rutabaga. Cut it up and roast it, maybe?
Yeah, the only time I've cooked it, I cut it up and roasted it much like a sweet potato.
Sure,
yeah.
Is there mashed rutabaga? Does that seem like a thing?
I would think maybe.
I don't know. I think you can mash anything.
I think I've heard that term, like mashed rutabaga, which just sounds like a bummer.
It doesn't sound
like
fun.
No one's psyched.
It sounds like something you'd eat in a gulag or something.
Yeah, like an Eastern European prison. Yeah. That's their Thanksgiving treat.
Right.
You wait in line for your rutabagas.
Ooh, the Christmas parsnip. Oh,
that's what they call me. It's my new stage name.
Yeah.
The Christmas parsnip.
They call me that because I'm white at the tip.
Oh, shit.
It's a calcium buildup, but don't tell the ladies.
I think the only thing I've ever had rutabaga in is there's a brand of relish that I really like that has rutabaga in it. Yeah, Branston pickle, it's called.
Interesting.
It's a British thing, I think.
Okay.
That's also a very good alias for you.
Yeah.
Branston pickle?
Yeah.
You in a suit.
That sounds like the nickname the media gives to a spree killer.
Yeah.
Police say to be on the lookout for the Branston pickle.
Yeah.
You're just charming the fucking pants out of some young lady, then you go to leave, you got to squeeze into a tiny Aston Martin.
I'm just gassed. I'm sweating.
I was thinking they'd find the lady in a big vat of brine somewhere.
He did it again, that son of a bitch.
We got another one, Brian and Dames.
I think that the transatlanticism or whatever that would be does kind of class up a murder or whatever. These days it makes it seem so cheap when they're just like, yeah, somebody else killed. It's like,
oh well.
Class it up a bit, will you?
At some point, before freezing things was as easy as it is now, they had to toy with the idea of pickling dead people, right? To get them to the spring.
It's just like a mausoleum of pickled dead people.
Holy shit.
Like a root cellar.
Oh, this place smells. It's like, yeah.
Don't turn on the lights.
Oh, yeah. The fan cooling system did go out over the weekend. Let's hope that brine held out.
May cannot get here soon enough.
That's, all those cryogenic chambers are just pickled humans.
They all got the name and date sharpied on them like cannon.
Yeah, you can choose whether you want to be like a bread and butter or like a sour. Terry always was a sweet gherkin kind of a type.
We call them sweet gherkin at work. How fitting.
Oh, shit.
You remember when cryogenic freezing was in the news like 20 years ago because Ted Williams' his son? I remember when they talked about that. The way it works, it's like $100 a month for your whole body.
Yeah.
$50 a month, and they just lop your head off and freeze that. What the fuck is the dumpster at?
It's a bunch of headless corpses moldering away.
Full of feral raccoons, fucking fat on human meat.
That's like a fucking Fight Club dumpster if I've ever heard one.
I mean, I hope they're doing something with them.
Yeah.
Just tossing them out.
They never specify what happened to Walt Disney's body. I know that.
Yeah.
Just the head.
Yeah.
Was he a believer in that too?
I remember hearing like stories.
Yeah,
that
I don't know
his
if that's
head was
real,
on
but
ice
yeah.
or something back in the day.
Like, I remember what you're talking about 20 years ago when it was a talking point of like, oh, and, you know, much like Walt Disney, Ted Williams did this too.
Yeah.
Like, I remember hearing that, so I don't know if that's actually true, though.
Right, yeah.
What a weird thing to have next to your business in a strip mall.
Yeah.
You're doing fucking pet grooming. It's 2,000 frozen fucking corpses.
I don't know that this is the best place for my chicken salad restaurant.
Hear those machines humming through the sheetrock.
Be more disturbing when you don't hear.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, no.
Oh, clunk, 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 clunk.
oh God. It's like, I thought the chicken salad was bad on these rolling blackout days. I don't think that's where the smell is coming from after all.
I think it's a little tasteless. They put a Cold Stone Creamery on the other side.
TCBY.
Oh, man.
Oh. I like to believe that's true, though, that Walt Disney's head is out there somewhere under fucking Small World or something.
Yeah.
Just waiting the technology so they can put him inside the...
It's just biding its time with some like Wild Wild West spider legs underneath it.
I was thinking the Krang giant
Krang
baby.
body.
Oh,
That's where I was
yeah.
headed, yeah.
Yeah. But the giant robot spider
know what?
from Wild Wild West works as well.
Yeah.
I say that's a fucking distant second now to the Krang thing.
What
Kinda
do they
forgot
do
about
on
Krang.
Futurama with Nixon? He just has a robot that
Oh, yeah.
carries it? Is that...
That what it is?
It's Spiro, I think it's Spiro Agnew's body like
Yeah,
carries him
yeah.
around, like fucking Herman Munster or whatever. Or wait, who was the goddamn butler guy or whatever on that?
Oh,
I forget the
Lurch.
Munster. Lurch. There we go. Herman Munster was not the one I was thinking of. That was a botched reference right there.
Botched Munsters reference.
You were switching up your high concept.
I know. I usually
60s
do.
comedies.
I usually do Adams Family references, and I
Yeah,
try to
you gotta
fucking
stick to the
Munsters
Adams.
one.
Sometimes you try to dig too deep.
Oh fuck!
Too greedy.
I knew I would dig too far on this episode. It's doing a delicate dance.
It's crazy that the Addams Family show existed, and they're like, you know what America needs? Another one of these.
Well, it was that Cold War, man. You know, got people all morbid and stuff.
I've never once seen the Munsters at all, or the old
I
Addams
don't-
Family. My entire exposure is those '90s Addams Family movies.
Yep. I remember being a child and I was like, oh man, Christina Ricci was.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's where it started for me.
She's a cool lady.
I was pretty
And then
hyped
I-
when Black Snake Moan came.
Yeah. See, I still have never seen it.
It's very good.
I think I have a good beat on like what it's about already, kind
yeah,
of.
yeah, it's about Christina Ricci fucking.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
that
That's
movie's
all I
about.
needed to know. I saw her in some fucking like midway movie between these two movies. I can't remember the name of it, but her and another girl like. It's kind of Goonies-esque. They're like trying to find some treasure in this mountain, and there are people trying to stop them and whatever. But they're two like middling teen girls or something. and
Sure, one of those like live action
yeah,
Disney
it's
movies.
not Dante's Peak, of course, but it's like,
No,
ooh,
it's
there's gold in this peak or
Treasure
something.
of Witch Mountain.
Yeah,
or
it's like,
something.
ugh.
Yeah.
You know what? That movie is probably a terrible movie, but I remember liking it at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, she's discovering herself now, and it's fucking.
You're watching her grow up in real time.
Yeah, I'm like fucking several years back for sure, but I'm like fucking man.
Good for you.
I like older women.
See, I'm old enough that when I was a little kid and cable was just becoming a thing, they had to fill so many hours of cable TV.
Yeah.
And they just piled on reruns of old black and white
Yep.
shit.
Sure, yeah.
That's what, like, Nick at Night, nothing was color on Nick at
Yeah,
Night for
no.
the first decade it existed. Like,
I mean, good Lord, that's one of the 1,000 times I had to see those I Love Lucy Vegemita vitamin things, you know?
I think of all, I mean, I've barely watched any of it, but I think I Love Lucy and The Honeymooners are one of the two that really hold up. Like,
Those are
you'll
like
laugh.
above
Yeah.
the rest of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
There wasn't as many crossovers as I would have thought with those. You know, where
Lucy and the Honeymooners.
Yeah, where Jackie Gleason's just like, Lucy! He's like, I'm going to domestic abuse you. And she's like, oh, no.
I think there's only like 2 seasons of Honeymooners.
Is there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so old, they made a lot of them because they hadn't figured out anything yet how to do TV.
The seasons were just like 8,000 episodes long.
Didn't have the same structure.
Yeah. Something like that show was only on the air for 18 months. Because he became a star, I think, is part of what it was. Like, he's like, I don't need to do this. Like, he's old enough. He was like, this TV is getting in the way of me doing a variety show in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, you were making $40K a year on a sitcom in 1950, you know? Like, you couldn't pay your bills starring in a sitcom. He's doing landscaping work.
He's like, do you know how fucking difficult it is to be funny after a back-breaking day? Moving gravel?
I remember seeing, I think it was like a 20th anniversary of MTV, so that'd have been like the year 2000 probably. I think cable TV, like 1980, give or take.
Yeah.
But I remember a guy talking, I can't remember who it was. It was Dan Cortez, who he was on a couple episodes of the Seinfeld. He's the himbo that George is smitten with because he gets George into like extreme sports. But his first thing where he was ever on the public eye was as like the host of MTV's Jock Jams or MTV's Extreme fucking Pogo Sticking, some dumb shit like that. And he talked about he had been a camera guy or in the engineering in the van or something. And when he tried out, he's like, hey, you know, I went for creative writer or acting. This is I want to do shit like this. He got the job. He got like a 5% raise. you now, instead of making $19 an hour, you make $20.75.
Like,
he's like, when I was the face of this show, I still had roommates.
Amazing.
So wild.
Just people assuming your life is completely different than it is.
There was... and now it's probably back to that. I bet
we'll get back there.
Because I bet getting paid on basic cable, I bet's hard because it's just a dying medium.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I bet, like, what are the big basic... I'm sure there's reality shows aimed at women that I just don't know about.
Sure.
Like, there's something that replaced the Kardashians.
Yeah, there's like the Bachelorette party or whatever.
Yeah, like, I'm sure there's a few cable... Like, I'm sure fucking whatever surviving members of fucking Pawn Stars they get a decent check.
They're on their 4th different show
I was
now.
gonna say, it's like I forget that those guys have been keeling over.
Yeah,
I think what are they 2 down?
Are they? I think they might be. I know Gramp or whatever his name. Hot Big Dead. They didn't call him Big Dead. I'm still alive, you sons of bitches.
Like, well, we can't call him that anymore. It just seems mean now.
Big Dead, 1933 to 2018.
He had a pretty good run for somebody called Big Dead.
Made it longer than we might have thought. And then who else? The chubby one? Or is he still alive?
Chubby or whatever his name was.
I think
the Soul Patch chubby one?
I think Chunkers or whatever his name was. I feel like Chunkers.
I think they called him Chumley.
Nailed it.
I've never even watched that show.
You've renamed half of the cast members of Pawn Stars.
I think I would actually watch it more if they used these names.
Big Chunkers and Big Dead.
Yeah. So Chunkers, I think Chunkers has had a hell of a metamorphosis. He's went through some. I think he got hooked on meth.
Yeah,
was on death's door, and then dropped a ton of weight.
Yeah,
like he's one of those guys that lost so much weight. You got to like, is that him?
One of those few guys who gets off meth and loses a lot of weight.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Don't hear about that much.
Yeah, usually if you get off drugs, if anything, you gain weight.
Yeah.
Like I remember that Steve Earle doubled in size when he got out of prison. Yeah. Got off heroin and got on hamburgers.
Man, you see an old picture of Steve Earle and a current picture of Steve Earle, you're like, there's no way. Who is this?
He looks a lot more like a guy whose name is just Earl now. Yeah.
There's that Earl Steve.
Dwight Yoakam, another one. Very handsome young man, and now you're like, that's Dwight Yoakam, huh?
Yeah. I always thought with Dwight Yoakam, man, it must just be the persona. Like young Dwight, like, I don't know, like, but women, I mean, fucking peak Sharon Stone dated Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
She was like arguably the most like biggest sex symbol.
Yeah.
But,
He was the tightest jeans in music.
Yeah.
and how did she describe it when they broke up? It was like kissing a dirt sandwich.
Oh, that's brutal.
Poor Dwight.
I don't know. I feel like that's pretty rugged and masculine.
Yeah, right. To this day, you go see Dwight Yoakam, there is an army of 55-year-old women that are hammered on fucking Bud Light and limes and are just screaming foul things about his private parts.
I
Get your
mean,
fucking dick out.
just grinding their teeth.
Can't hardly breathe.
Yeah.
Just,
They all have
I've been
GA, so
waiting 40 years to see this Johnson.
they all get general admission so they can rub their pelvis against the fence. It sounds like someone running a stick across a picket fence. Those labias are taut. They're engorged.
It's like one of those old timey cartoons where somebody's in prison with the cup,
Yeah.
running it across the fucking bars.
No, he doesn't wear his hat low because he wants to be mysterious. He's just genuinely terrified.
Yeah, he's like, I literally cannot risk making eye contact
He's
with one of these.
blushing so hard.
He's like, you know how they say you don't look a chimpanzee in the eye? Well, it's much the same at my shows. That will be enough to set them off.
Security's doing what they can, beating them back off the fence.
Do you know how terrifying it is to see a 55-year-old woman vault a barricade and several security officers? And
flying at the
you know
stage.
the one thing she's after?
Flying at the stage crotch first.
And also, much like a chimp, they go for the face and genitals, and they ain't shy about ripping it off.
Monkey steal the page.
They ain't focused on your safety. They're just focused on getting it home.
He's coming in August. I might go see him
Yeah, that'd be a good show.
Well, I will now.
to watch the terrifying National Geographic special.
I'm
that
getting
is his female
fucking.
fan base.
I'm getting nosebleed seats for sure. I need a quick getaway.
I'm staying far away from the barricade.
At all times, he has a harness, like a crouching tiger, hidden dragon harness that sucks him into the rafters.
You can just like pull a cord and just spring loaded. They're like, well, we haven't mastered the system of preventing you from slamming into the ceiling yet. He's like,
That's it. Yeah.
he's like, it's a calculated risk. I'm willing to take it.
Yeah.
That's a quick death.
It's like I've bounced off a few things in my past. I think I can handle it.
They've engineered some manner of hard hat rigging inside the hat
Yeah.
for when he hits the light bar up there.
Just spray foamed inside. He has to wear like a fucking styrofoam back suit.
Yeah, they're all underneath jumping and hissing and howling at him. Some roadie's got a fireman's hose, knocks him down.
He's like a fucking sandwich in one of those bear bags at a campsite.
Someone follows the string and starts chewing through the wire.
No.
Done that? No.
Somebody toss him some spray. Somebody.
Help me try to get to my packer.
They've grown immune to the bear spray.
All right, guys, Little Sister's coming up next. Make sure to double security for this one.
When they finally get him calmed down, the show just 2, 3, 4.
Little Sister, don't. Oh, no.
Play a ballad for God's sake. Pocket of a clown.
Oh, shit.
I somehow knew there was going to be a good Dwight Yoakam segment.
Yeah, there's bound to be. You know the routine on this show.
Very topical.
Welcome, by the way, to America's Barley Basket, episode 190-something. I'm Marlon, that's Nathan, and the extra voice you hear is our dear friend Chase Raeder. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking, man.
Of course. It's good to see you.
How are you boys?
I'm doing good.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm
all right.
okay.
That's as good as Nathan
It is.
That's
has
above the
said.
baseline.
Fuck, Nathan's doing too good
I'm
today.
looking at how you're sitting right now, and I'm just so envious. Ronald Reagan was president the last time I could sit like that comfortably.
Sitting upright and cross-legged.
Yeah.
With your feet underneath you.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't,
Well, as a thing that might be going in a normal person's favor, I think my family has very weird genetic bone structure or something for posture.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's never been described as good.
But it has its advantages.
It has been
as we
described
can
as
see.
very strange and off-putting. It's a genetic thing.
Just
They're like, why do you stand that way? And it's not like a thing that has even necessarily been just straight up learned, passed down. It's just like, I feel like that's the comfortable way for our weird body type to be. And people are like, why? How can you even?
just
why?
a whole body, a whole family of weird Lovecraftian
Like crossing your arms behind your back is a thing. We do have weird, strange, long arms and things, but yeah, never thought about it until people brought it up. It's like, God, that's another weird thing you do, man. It's like, oh shit, another one.
Just want to be a normal boy.
Now I have to delve far back and realize what weirdness has slipped out yet again.
I think that there's something to be said about that being familial. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's learned or you're born with it. Thinking back, I had an old coworker. He, 150 pounds overweight, 5'6", shaped like a potato. He would often sit, like if he was like on a couch type thing, with his feet together, tucked underneath. So his knees would be touching to the side, and he'd wrap both hands
Kind of like
the
almost
knees.
like a riding side saddle sort of a thing.
And his feet are under him. It's like, you look like an effeminate blueberry right now. Like, you're just this perfectly,
He's just like arms like over the knee.
Yeah, but his feet tucked under his bulbous torso. It's like, how can you do that? First off, how are you comfortable? That's just how I sit, brother.
Yeah.
Can't be good for you.
Yeah. It's like, are your joints okay? He's like, no.
They're either not or they're the best joints ever.
He's like, I actually have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and my joints are made of fucking elastic. It's not good.
I have what doctors call a horrifying abundance of knuckles in all my bones.
They go every way you can imagine.
All knucked up is what my pediatrician described me.
Too many shin knuckles.
Yeah, it's like one is too many. Yeah. Oof.
Want to hear me crack them? No.
Yeah, no,
I don't.
Takes a long time from the sound of it, and no, I don't want to be
You
around
know
for
what,
anyone.
Glenn? You go home. You start your weekend early, bud.
Yeah.
You press hard on my tailbone, you'll crack the loudest one.
It really puts my taint chakra back in place.
And we're aligned.
We got kind of a fucking window into the the nature versus nurture part of like that specific sort of thing in my family, because I have an older brother that we didn't know about until I was like 19 or something. He didn't know, we didn't know, whatever.
Oh,
It was a whole long fucking Wendy Williams style story or something. But yeah, and then he came in. He was from the same community and stuff and whatever, small town community, which raises all sorts of other weird shit. Like everyone else knew,
except,
but they just didn't. They didn't say anything.
Yeah,
and so yeah, he's like got a lot of physical similarities with me particularly.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, we went to the same school and stuff. He's like, I don't remember how many grades ahead. Probably, I think it might have been like 8 years he graduated ahead of me, I believe.
Okay.
And so I never went to school really with him or anything. He does the same goddamn weird stance stuff.
Weird bone
And it's like
stuff.
he was not raised in the family.
Yeah.
He's just built this way. So I think it's a little more toward the nature side on that particular one.
I was so hoping that it was the nurture. You're going to say, he looks exactly like me, but he's the coolest kid ever.
He's like he's that cool brother that we
wore
talked about.
sunglasses in the school, and the teachers didn't say
They
no.
didn't even try and make him take them
They
off.
called them shades.
Which didn't help because my name is Chase, so like shades, right? It's too close.
He had a motorcycle at 15.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm ironically named because I was chasing after just a hint of that fucking popularity. He is the only thing I was good for back in those days was something for him to jump his dirt bike over when all the other kids would cheer, you know? He never even made the jump. He hit me every time. That's still cheer nonetheless.
Oof. I remember being a part of a few trailer park ramp shenanigans.
No.
Oh boy, please don't ask me to do that. I don't want to be the kid.
I bet I could jump Nathan. Oh no.
Yeah, it's like I would prefer you didn't.
Yeah.
No, I bet you can't.
I feel like that was the North End skid kids that were all about jumping humans. It was like, if memory serves, it was like an honor to be picked. That they wouldn't pick us because we weren't worthy of having a fucking imbecile 9-year-old jump us on a bike. Like
I do remember,
like
that
how they
sort of
found out
mindset.
now that getting chosen to build the pyramids was an honor.
Yeah,
right.
Like it wasn't the slaves. It was like they were like, oh man, your family was bestowed with this epic journey. You know, like so I wasn't deemed worthy of jumping with a fucking Huffy.
Yeah,
You were below it.
Yeah, I watched a few, but
yeah. I'd watch from afar.
Yeah.
Always a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Never a jumped over bride.
Yeah.
I want to have a bike land on my face.
I always had an interesting mixture because, like, we're from the country and whatnot, completely isolated from it, no friends or anything. So we kind of got like left to our own devices when we weren't working on the fucking farm, and it's like there was stuff laying around. We never had like a dirt bike or anything, but we had like a 3-wheeler back in the day and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, we could fuck around and be cool. But then my mom was a nurse, so it'd be tamped down really. She's like, oh yeah? You think that's fun? You want to have both of your legs?
Your weird bendable legs?
Yeah, it's like you see fucking a farmer driving around with like his hand, not even like, there's some, you know how they drive around, there's like hand on the outside of the car door, truck door more accurately. But like she's like, well, yeah, and then you roll your car, but like sitting on the top of like when you have your window rolled down and just there, she's like, that'll rip your arm off. It's like in the car, she's like, well, something could snake in. You keep your window closed because something could snake in, rip your arm off.
Right through the heater vent.
Yeah, it's like you want to lose your... Everything always ended up with somebody wrapped around a manure spreader somehow. Every single... It's like, well... Yeah, you want to end up like that. It's like, no, I don't. It's like, well, you still have to go work on the farm, though. It's like, well, why even fucking tell me? We don't even have a manure spreader. We don't use manure. It's like, well, it's still a very real risk. Somebody could be driving past with one. And it's like, well, I guess you're right. It's like, oh, you want to jump a dirt bike? That ramp looks pretty high. It's over 6 inches off the ground. You know what happened? I saw a kid who jumped a dirt bike. He jumped it right into a manure spreader. They had to take the whole bearing out of there and stuff, and they brought the cylinder with him just wrapped around it. And we had to operate on him. He was just covered in blood and shit.
His own and his own and fertilizer. Yep.
Which they did scrape off to reuse because he can't be wasting.
I love your mom. Just always every cautionary lecture ends with the manure spreader. She's trying to preach abstinence. Oh, you want to have sex, huh? You want to end up in a manure spreader?
How does it sound to stick your penis into a manure spreader? It's like, well, not good.
Is that what you want?
Listen, that seems like not a bad idea.
It's like, I know that you've never had the sex talk with me before ever, but I didn't know that those came into play. Now it is more terrifying. It makes it hard to describe to like even like a therapist or something. Where does your anxiety come from or whatever? And it's like, well, I think really it all goes back to manure spreaders. And they're like, they just write me off as a lost cause right then.
Yeah, just
like no amount of forward-thinking therapy is going to do anything for you.
15 minutes into your hour, she just writes Prozac.
They're like, actually,
takes you out the door.
They're like, this is it's not a treatment I recommend much, but have you just considered the finality of wrapping yourself around a manure spreader? Because I feel like it would just solve a lot of problems.
Immersion therapy, she insists you just hang out with manure spreaders all the time.
It's like, wait, so I have to literally kill myself in a manure spreader? They're like, I think so.
Yep, it's the most immersive.
I haven't read the book all the way through. It's like, well, maybe could you finish? Just to be sure.
I'm sure it doesn't take too many flips on a Choose Your Own Adventure Chase Raeder book of you inheriting a bachelor great uncle's tiny little farmhouse in the middle of the prairie somewhere, and all of a sudden it's like, I can just stay here forever.
Yeah, it's like if things would have worked out just by chance slightly differently, I feel like that would be a very good chance of that happening. But all of my relatives basically that would have applied to were like female relatives and did the very like Lutheran thing of that, just, you know, married a guy and had some kids and whatever, and then like a couple of them went the town way. Mm-hmm. One of them went out in the countryway, but yeah, I don't think I'm standing to inherit any Uncle Pad.
a 2-room home.
No, see, I was kind of the wild, weird one because I like started questioning Christianity and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, fucking A, we lost him."
Sounds like a good way to end up in manure spreader.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we should probably put him there. It's like. I wasn't even sure, like I wasn't atheist or anything. I was just like, well, why? It doesn't.
I have questions.
I've had people die now, and it doesn't make sense to me. Why is it?
A one-way ticket not to get Uncle Leland's
it's like,
bachelor nightmare house. Yeah. You keep up with this talk, mister.
I say that once. He just tears up the will in front of me.
He's bummed about it.
Yeah, it's just a piece of yellow legal paper. He's like, that's the only reason I bought that legal pad. Ain't got no call for that sort of thing.
Threw the rest of the pad away. I figured I only needed one piece of paper.
I was like, I've never needed stationery before in my lifetime, but I thought this was the occasion. Turns out I was wrong again.
You broke a heart today.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all like, "Oh, this kid, he drinks the booze. It's bad." It's like, well, what about all the other cousins who drink booze? It's like, well, yeah, but they haven't questioned the Lord's authority yet.
Their drinking is fun and cheeky.
You have made it the demon rum. They were just having a good time.
Yeah.
Sure, they drink all week, but they also do it on Sunday in church.
Yeah.
They stare
It's
at
like, oh, so I was supposed to be drinking in church. That's why it's enjoyable. Oh, okay. I thought that little taster from Jesus was just to tease you.
I never thought of that. There had to have always been a couple guys hammered in church. The guys that just can't go without drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, there's some dudes drinking in the car before church.
They're making small deals with God for the morning shots they have to take before they go.
Man.
Yeah.
What a tough life to live.
Just taking a pull off rail gin, 10:15 a.m.
Yeah. I will say the morning drink sometimes can be fun and sometimes can be sometimes they're tough but necessary.
Pulling the hunting schnapps out of the glove compartment on your way to church.
Blackberry brandy.
Yeah. Big Phillips people where I come from.
Well, I'm a Phillips brand man myself. So.
Phillips by choice.
Yeah.
I had a Kharkov stretch. I fucked around with some Silver Wolf. I didn't like that.
Oh, boy.
Any of the colors and animal mixtures are not good. Gray Eagle, Silver Wolf, whatever.
You're never getting good booze if it's an animal. You don't want to.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
White muskrat. It's like, no. That one doesn't even sound good. You're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for animals, even.
I feel like I got my hands on some Silver Wolf whiskey one time.
Yeah.
If you're going to drink poison, you got to stick with vodka.
Yeah.
Vodka's the one that's hardest to fuck up.
I completely agree with that. Because even just thinking about it, like back then or now, like I could drink if I had to. Well, yeah, I guess white clear booze in general. Like if it was Phillips gin or Phillips vodka. Which,
all two types.
Phillips gin. Oh, I mean,
the face you just made.
I'm a big Phillips vodka guy.
I'm with you.
But Phillips gin is a meaner beast, I feel like. Because there was a trip in my booze days. There was a trip where I went up to the cities to see my friend Josh DeLay and stuff. And my girlfriend had made me swear off Phillips vodka.
What a thing to have to.
She's like, you can drink. Just, I think vodka's a problem. Like, don't drink any vodka. And I'm a man who's true to my word, so I drank Phillips gin the whole time. And Josh was like losing his mind. He's like, fucking Phillips, I've never even heard of that. Like, and I mean, to be truthful, I didn't either. But I was like, I like Phillips and I do like gin, but oh God, that was
and this is a loophole.
So. It was a mean, nasty booze.
I bet it's Phillips vodka with a dollop of pine sol in it.
It is. And honestly, not that much of that. It's like, what did you put in here to make this just so evil tasting?
Oh, it's vile.
But yeah, no, the whiskey though, even just thinking back to like days of try, like, because there were a couple times where I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to drink. Maybe I'll switch it up and I'll feel a little bit better if I don't drink the Phillips vodka in the morning, and just like switched it out with like Black Velvet or like Windsor or something, or like, you know, somebody had a bottle of Windsor and they're like, do you want the rest of this? Because I shouldn't have drank in any of it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really doing well in life. I'll accept this. Like a few cigarette butts in it. That's fine. But
strain those.
Yeah, it's fine.
I got cheesecloth around here somewhere.
It's a self-cleaning liquid, I feel like.
True.
But god damn, does that hurt to like, oh, it just makes your stomach off.
Yeah.
Not good. It's just fucking vodka with like food coloring in it or something. They dissolve like a little dog turd in there, and that's where the brown color comes from.
If you want to get drunk and still do something with your day, vodka's the answer. Like, you just start drinking whiskey before lunch, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Your day that's your day.
Think about it. I mean, there's you know, 2 martini lunches and stuff that business people talk about or whatever. But you ain't, I don't know. I mean, fancy scotches and stuff, sure, I'm sure that happens. But yeah, you hear somebody talk about like a fucking whiskey lunch or something. That doesn't sound highfalutin.
Yeah, not a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're having a BLT and 2 Windsor Cokes, like that's not classy. You're not like that. You have a problem.
Yeah.
If you have 2 dry martinis with your BLT,
it's like, oh,
you're just
fun.
a businessman.
Yeah, they probably just like classy stuff and olive juice.
You're just
things.
a rich white lady trying to keep her weight down. That's all you are.
I don't know if there's a drink that I can think of where vermouth crosses paths with Black Velvet. I mean,
Doing vermouth barrels, dropping a shot glass of vermouth, glass of Windsor.
Oof.
I drank straight vermouth one time at one of those weird cabin things.
Yeah.
Also Josh related. I'm starting to see a pattern.
He shows up in this podcast quite a bit.
But yeah, like we'd rent a cabin over the 4th of July, like a week basically, and just get drunk basically, have a good time, go out on the lake and stuff. And I don't know, I got in a weird staring contest with my now girlfriend. And all that I had at the point, because it was later in the trip, we were like out of normal boozes, and she'd brought a bottle of vermouth, and I was trying to like, we were blinking, but we were just like not looking away, and it was like a contest of wheels. I don't know. I'd been eating mushrooms all day. And so I was like trying to do these like mind games, like willpower, like eating mushrooms while looking at her, and that was a bad move. Just strategically, that was not a sound. And then like drinking just straight vermouth out of the bottle, and God.
In the summer's heat.
It was in this warm vermouth. Just, I would have rather drank straight olive juice, I think. 40 minutes of that was a good time. That's how you win over a lady's heart. It's a tried and true move. It works every time.
Ever since.
Yeah. But I would rather drink fucking straight vermouth than any sort of warm fucking piss grade whiskey again, I think, in my lifetime.
The one that sticks in my head in the real dirt dog days is Canadian Mist, because they weren't even pretending to have anything to do with class. It was shaped like a Sunny D container.
Yep.
It wasn't a bottle with a neck. It was like meant to be drinking while riding a mountain bike. It's like a Powerade bottle. It had like finger holes in it to grip while you're.
This is for the man on the go.
Right, you're running from the cops. Yeah. And I remember, like, we were all drinking it one night. We all got sad at once. It's like, I don't want to finish.
It's just built into the beverage.
And it just sat above our fridge for like a year. There was like a 1/6 of it left. Enough to get drunk, at least get a good buzz. But it's like, I don't want to ever do that again. It's real sad.
Like that.
Like drinking out of a Tide container.
See, I always got a weird mental picture of Canadian Mist, because still to this day in my parents' house, they have like a bar in the basement, which they don't drink. I don't know why my dad built that in there. He built that house. He put it in. They never drink.
At a certain time, there are certain dads who just become cocktail dads, even if they're not drinking them.
And he never like has really bought booze. He had all the booze in there from their wedding, 30 years ago, and it stayed in there till my brother and I fucking went through it. Basically,
no shit.
He builds a bar and he buys bar stools and a bunch of little plastic swords.
Oh, he made the
or
bar
little
stools.
Umbrellas. Oh, wow!
But there's a Canadian Mist like mirror in the back there.
Canadian Mist.
Canadian
merch.
Mist.
Where'd you find that?
And it's like, what the? I was like, oh, that must be some fancy booze.
what
No, just
auction
Canadian
set?
Mist.
Kind of fucking woebegone
And like, what drove him to
salesman.
that? He's just like, that looks like a good one.
Yeah. Imagine being the guy that has to run that circuit as a salesman.
It's like we don't even have that. I don't know. I think he does drink whiskey occasionally. Like he'll occasionally go out to the small town bar there and like have a drink or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think down there it's just left it's like one fucking half bottle of Galliano and like some slow gin or something. 'Cause those are the cream de menthe, because those are the ones where like this is just it's pointless to try and drink these.
Yeah. Oh, when you're at a certain age, you'll give everything a try.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Well,
it's
those
like-
are bar liquors that last forever because
Right.
you don't use them very often.
Exactly.
Like, you know.
How many golden Cadillacs are you making?
That's always my go-to drink if someone asks what do you want to drink, because it has ice cream in it.
Exactly. Ice
Such-
cream drinks. We used to go to Speakeasy, and my dad would every once in a while get a golden Cadillac, and I'm like, this is the peak of luxury. Clearly.
Fucking bartender just
Ice
hates
cream
them.
drink?
Yeah, gotta go to the freezer.
It's like every time this man comes in here, we go down in our fucking, like, we have to recalculate the spending of the restaurant every time we make one of these things.
We ran out of vanilla, so this is Rocky Road. Never had a drink with ice cream in it. I'll drink a cocktail that has like a whipped raw egg white in it, and I'm fine with that. I got no beef with that.
That's an example of that. I'm trying to think.
Oh, what's I forget what it's called. It's the one that was the signature cocktail on the Titanic. It's got champagne and a whipped egg white and something
I feel like I've
else.
heard the name of that before.
Orange juice, maybe?
Orange whip?
Orange whip has egg white
That's
in
what
it.
I was
There you
saying.
go.
Is that an orange
Yep.
whip?
I mean, no, that we're
But
talking
like-
about two
but
different
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But yes, an orange whip has egg
whip
white in
sounds
it.
delectable.
Yeah. Orange whip? Orange whip?
3 orange
whips. What do you think goes into an orange whip?
I'll look it up, but off the top of my head,
Oranges.
Some kind of orange liqueur, like
orange. I don't know if. I always try to figure shit out before just Googling
Right.
it, but I believe it's orange juice, egg white, cream, and vodka, maybe?
Okay.
Gin, maybe?
That sounds pretty good to me.
that sounds good.
Sounds like an orange Julius, but for my lifestyle.
I pretty actively dislike oranges. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a hot take or
Hot
not. But
take.
No, I'm not a huge orange.
What is this?
I'll eat an orange every now and again. Don't dislike them, but they're too much work for me to get into.
100%.
And orange flavored things, not about I will drink one. I can't. It's like not like I can't drink it, but I will choose pretty much every other option before orange.
Yep, I will drink an orange juice once in a while. I will eat an orange because I feel obligated
it's
to
like,
for some reason.
It's like fuck. I think I'm close to scurvy again.
yeah,
Better have an
exactly.
Orange.
But like an orange, it's never worth the work.
No,
Like,
it's got all those cuticles or whatever.
and my
You have to
goddamn
pick off.
hands stink
Yeah.
all fucking day.
Yep.
Like and,
Sometimes it shoots you in the eye.
yeah, and like I never get enough of like the
No.
white membrane horse shit off
Yep,
of it,
that's
so I
the thing
eat
that
too
gets
much
me.
of that.
Yeah.
Like
It's like this is too much fiber.
yeah, you know what's never fucked with me like that? A banana.
Yeah. I'll take a goddamn kiwi over an orange, and those are
Hell
also
yeah,
kind
and those
of
are also a lot of work.
until I figured out you could just fucking eat them with a spoon inside.
Oh,
I was
sure.
like,
Get it in there
scoop
and
right
scoop it out. Okay, yeah.
I found that out within the past probably 6 years of my life.
So you're hot to share it. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm like, did you know you can spoon those out like a yogurt canister?
let me tell you, I got kiwi tips.
I've been peeling those sons of bitches my whole life. I ate one with the skin on once.
Just slice the top out of it and
Yeah.
tongue it out like a Jello shot.
Oh. You never can get all of it, you know. You never.
I also don't care for like orange creamsicle as a flavor.
See, I do
Not
like
a
orange
fan.
creams. I don't like it as a flavor as much, but an actual orange creamsicle, I will.
That was never my
time
favorite
to time.
flavor of cream savers candies.
No, strawberry's the way to go.
Strawberry, the better one for sure.
God, do they still make those? I haven't seen them in the
No.
wild.
Savers.
I found out.
Are they?
Well, see, I don't know. It's a murky territory for me because I thought they didn't, and like people had pretty conclusively said that they didn't. I found at the Hy-Vee over by the East St. Paul place I used to live. They had a big weird like candy section, like a whole like area of it that was like the fucking freeze dried candy and all that. and old-timey stuff. And they had several bags of, they were sold out of the orange kind, but they had several of the strawberry, and I picked up a bag. I still got a couple in my candy dish at home.
And same they're called cream savers and everything?
Yep, cream savers, strawberry ones. And then I looked it up online, and I thought I could find some, but I was never sure if those were like just like still leftover bags, or if like you can write to the company and like receive them or what. But I mean, I guess those fucking nips, those coffee nips or whatever, are still a thing. So,
fuck, I haven't thought of those.
My grandma would always have a pack of those around.
Snack,
The butter rum ones were good. The chocolate parfait, pretty good. Fucking every now and again, you'd like try and run up there and sneak out a couple, and she'd be like, "Oh, somebody ate all the fucking."
All of our nips.
Who could it be? It's like, Grandma, stop saying nips. For God's sake. I'm 14. It got weird. I don't.
An Orange Whip, I had it wrong. An Orange Whip is 1 part rum, 1 part vodka, 2 parts cream, and 4 parts OJ.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
No egg in there.
Oh, what gives it? There's just cream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, orange juice, cream, rum, and vodka. Sounds pretty good to me.
It does sound good to me.
Yeah,
It sounds.
Even I, as an orange hater.
When I fucking relapse, that is going to be the first. I'll be like, "Oh, here's my chip, and I'll have an orange whip. Thank you very much."
It's like if you text me someday down the road, "Hey, Marlon, what was the orange whip recipe again?" I'm gonna be like, "Chase." But it's my obligation as your friend to be like, "No."
I'm like, "Well, shit, I got the vodka and the egg in the glass already." I did drink a considerable amount before I attempted it.
Watching someone calmly crack a raw egg into a cup of room temp vodka and just chug it and go on with their day. Like, that guy either needs to be president or put down immediately.
Maybe both. Maybe you make him president and then you just put him down just to give him a good like last little bit. I don't know, man. I feel like vodka with a raw egg in there, it could be healthier than certain things I've done, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the raw egg.
Like, well, I guess you're getting some nutrients.
Yeah.
There was a guy who used to come into a restaurant I used to work at that was attached to a sushi bar. I didn't work in that part, but people would come in there and sit at the bar and like kind of, have drinks and stuff in the middle of the day a little bit. And there was one dude specifically who would come in there and they kept kind of a stock for him, but he would want a beer. I can't remember what Asian beer it was, but a specific Asian beer. And then he would have like quail eggs, like a couple quail eggs cracked into it. Raw quail eggs. And it had to be quail egg. But yeah, no, they like kept them around for him for that purpose. And it's a very interesting thing. And back in the day, I was like, man, I should try that out sometime. A couple quail eggs. I don't know why I thought that would be a good.
I can't say I've ever had a quail egg.
Yeah. Me either. I bought.
Have I only ever had chicken eggs? Am I that basic?
Yeah. Quail eggs are pretty tiny.
Yeah, so they got to be little.
I've seen them around at like gas stations around here every now and again. They have like pickled quail eggs.
Right.
I bought a jar of them. Yeah. Drastically overpriced, I have to assume. It was like $20. But yeah, they have them around. Haven't dipped into them yet. I haven't had the gall.
Talking about weird booze combos. Just last night, I grabbed a quick bite before the show. Dude sat down. He had a food order on its way. He's like, I got plenty of time. And he must have been a regular. He was very conversational with the bartender. He's like, I'll just do what I usually do. Just give me some higher end vodka and a glass of wine. It's just vodka, tequila. He had a specific high end tequila. Just tequila and wine.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Like together?
Yeah.
Like mixed?
No, shoot it, chase it with, he wasn't guzzling the wine, but like.
Oh, man, I thought you were making a cocktail.
No.
And I was like, God.
I have heard of a couple mixed drinks of like, maybe it was brandy and red wine or like whiskey and red wine or something. And it sounds terrible to me, but some people said it wasn't that bad.
I just found the recipe for the Titanic drink that I was trying
what
to think
was it
of,
called?
and that also has wine and booze in it.
Okay.
It's a punch romaine. One
That
egg
does sound like lettuce.
One egg white, 1 ounce white rum, 1 ounce white wine.
It's all white stuff.
It's the racist drink.
Yeah.
Half an ounce of simple syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, an ounce of orange juice, 2 ounces of champagne.
What a weird combo.
That is very strange.
Champagne, white wine, white
rum,
rum.
egg white.
Holy moly.
Little orange juice.
Baking soda. egg shells. Jesus Christ. Cocaine. Probably about the time.
How much cocaine was getting done on the Titanic? I'd like to think a fair
Probably.
amount.
I think all those rails were, if you dusted them down. They all
or were
had
they more
remnants.
laudanum people back then?
That
I
could
don't know.
be. Just a bunch of fucking leaking bottles and fish getting fucked up. This disaster is the best day of our lives. Man. I don't know. That's a fucking very extensive amount of ingredients for a drink.
That's a lot of work.
I always find it fascinating, just like, some of the fancy drinks and whatever, like all the fucking, it's like a fucking hair off of a golden marmoset or whatever.
At some point, it becomes witchcraft.
Yeah, it's like you have to have 9/10 of these ingredients shipped to you on the Silk Road or something. Like you have to come across a traveling merchant. And then you're like, oh, fuck, I guess I'll whip up a cocktail real quick. These ingredients that are never to exist again.
Meanwhile, I'm standing behind that guy just wanting a beer.
Yeah. It's like, you do realize this drink will take me 3 years to prepare. And it's like, yes, and you will be tipped
accordingly.
You will be compensated accordingly.
$1 a drink, you know?
Let's make it, you asshole.
I
want a Tahitian pearl diver, please.
That sounds like a sex move.
A lot of them can be both.
Mm-hmm.
Like the orange whip.
Or the Branston pickle.
I was thinking when I go to a coffee shop, too, when I just want a fucking coffee, and there's someone in front of me ordering some silly shit, and the most disinterested barista in America is just fucking lollygagging around, hitting the thing, and turning on the thing, and steaming the thing. It's like, fuck. Can't there be another way to do this?
Well, I think that's why so many coffee joints just have their coffee out.
It is becoming a thing,
pumps,
and I love it.
Just like so you can just like be like, hey, just give me a cup. Here's $1.
Yeah. Oh man, that needs to become more commonplace.
Oh,
I don't want the silly shit. Please.
Sometimes I want the silly shit.
Every now and again. Every now and again, I want a soy milk, white Chomo Delight or whatever.
White Chomo Delight.
It's your new stage name.
I would hope not.
That's what he.
Although I guess, maybe I would be the delight of.
Yes, yeah. You got to look at it from the other side.
But would it be because of my material, or would it be because of my body type? I would hope because of my body type. Honestly,
that's the way I have it in my head.
Yeah.
He's been described as a white Chomo's Delight coming on stage.
Yeah, once in a while, what I really want is a nice peppermint mocha. I want to be, I want to be a little fancy boy.
Every now and again.
9 times out of 10, black Americano.
Yeah.
But all the rest of the time,
my go-to.
Yeah, give me a little mint, a little chocolate.
Heavy.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna dip my biscotti.
Maybe I just don't like. Maybe it's like the groceries, like moving to a new area and finding out the grocery store situation. I don't like maybe learning like new etiquette groupings. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I never really went to coffee shops too much till for reasons that will remain unnamed, had to bike around a lot and drink at a lot of coffee shops and stuff. And I would go to that downtown coffee shop a lot. Like, pretty frequently, mostly every day, I think, once a day, you know, and go in there, try and, like, do some writing and read some stuff and whatever, and be around people socializing, try and kind of fend that off as best I could. You'd usually run into a guy, like there'd always be some sort of situation.
Altercation.
Where there's like a homeless dude outside and he's like, hey man, we got to try and sell my kidney to this rich guy. And I was like, I mean, your kidney, bro. I guess I'll get in on it. But does he know about this situation? Does he want it? He's like, you want to bring me in there? I'm like, sure, whatever. And they're like, you get out. You know that you can't. I'm like, why'd you try and lump me in with you, guy? But there's always something like that going on. I had to help him like learn how to tie a tie. I don't really know why. He had a t-shirt on and he was biking to wherever he was going to. But not by riding the bicycle. He was walking alongside.
That's still a heartwarming moment of you being like, over.
I'm like, all right, now you tell him that's a real good kidney now, you hear? Don't let him know what you've actually done with the thing.
Never saw him again.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, no.
I didn't, thank goodness.
He died on the table.
He might have. I don't know that there was a table. I think it was out back, the alley, right on the other side of those buildings we were on. But it would be like, I'd go in there and, you know, I didn't know about the coffee shop etiquette or whatever, and like different people I feel have different ideas of it. Mm-hmm. But I had to suss out like what was cool to do and what was like a dickbag move for like the baristas and things and all that and whatever, because I didn't want to be obtrusive, you know. I was very conscious of like myself in that situation, but I got into like a Larry David kind of Curb Your Enthusiasm situation. I feel like the one time for sure, and I didn't know about the social etiquette of, but like every now and again there'd be a line you'd have to wait through of somebody ordering for an office or something or whatever, and somebody did the like pay ahead, pay it forward thing.
Oh, sure.
To me, and there's nobody else behind me in line. I mean, those were days where I wasn't doing very good financially. Little money went a long way.
Yeah.
I was still going to a coffee shop, so I wasn't pulling myself up by my bootstraps like I should have. But I mean, I don't know. A man needs something. But I was waiting in line for my black Americano, and they had paid for it. And I'm like, I don't need to. I kind of wish you wouldn't have done that. But then right after they fucking did that, within earshot of the next people coming, there's like 20 fucking people in line, all on one order. For like the fanciest things that could ever be. And they like looked at me with like the pay it forward thing, and I'm like, just clamp down as quick, like, nope. I'll just have to be the most socially uncomfortable. And they're like, well, come on, you know. It's like, dude, look at me.
It's too weird. I came in here with an idea of what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Buy myself
I came in here with $3.
Yeah.
I am fucking effectively homeless right now. You don't know my situation.
I will
pay it forward.
I will stamp out this chain of kindness right now.
It's like, I guess you're learning some things about how the world works today, because I ain't changing shit.
Here's the thing. It is meant to benefit somebody, and today I'm the somebody.
It has to end somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't be nice to people. I can't be nice to people who work in an office.
Yeah.
No.
Especially fiscally.
Yeah, no, I just can't.
I don't have it in me to be fiscally kind.
It's like, oh, hey, do you make a salary? Well, then this is not happening. I don't.
You make a salary, I cannot afford celery. That's where we're at.
Exactly. My salary is less than $10K a year, if you want to be.
Yep. If you want to be too honest about it.
If you want to be honest about it, I think I could be under 5K. So if you really would want to get into apples and oranges about different lives
Neither of which are fruits I can afford.
Yeah, I can't afford either one. I've lost track of even the types of apples that are around these days.
I think oranges are a pain in the ass,
exactly.
So I don't have to worry about those.
Have you had some sub 5-digit earnings in the last 10 years?
10, I don't think so.
Okay, that'd be amazing.
Well, 10. I would have been 25. Oh, yeah.
With confidence.
Yeah.
10 at age 25. I've dipped back and forth over that would be into the period where I definitely could have cleared under 20. There's some real skint years, as they might say.
Oh, I totally had some in my mid-20s.
Just like, how the fuck did I even... Yeah. It's like I was buying so much booze.
Yeah.
Where was I finding that money?
How did I do any of this?
Yeah.
How did I... Those empty calories might not be so empty because...
They were the only ones I had.
I was not eating a lot of foods. I was sheerly... I guess, I've never considered myself like particularly lucky enough to, get by and whatever, but not a lot of big breaks. But man, I've just been burning it left and right with just like fucking donations of like free chili at the dive bar I'm at that morning or whatever. It's like, oh, I was just waiting for it to open because I woke up on the park bench in front of it. I wasn't.
And now I have chili. Look at me. Things are turning around.
When you show up to the Bismarck and are waiting for it to open, it's not the start of a good day.
That opens at 8.
Yes.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you're watching the sun come up. You're like, why isn't this fucking place open yet?
You work third shift, pal? Kind of.
You can call it that. Oof.
I ain't on the clock, but I'm here, damn it.
Yowza.
You do what you love, does it even really work?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I have been in the basement. I've never been employed here, but I've seen the inner workings. Why was I down there? Anybody's guess. Thought it was the bathroom.
A bar opening at 8 is a tough omen.
Yeah. I think the reasoning behind that is they used to do really well when the hospital was downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I guess it used to be like a lot of nurses. Which is insane to think at the Biz. Like,
I could see it.
I can see nurses drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And Chubb's was there. They open at 8, or at least they used to, for the bakery people.
Oh, see,
working
that makes a
third
lot
shift.
of sense, too.
Oh, sure.
Because, I mean...
Because both of those bars, I guess, used to be rocking at 8 a.m.
That's so wild.
Just everyone cutting loose.
I could kind of see that because, one of the worst things about waiting on the park bench for 45 minutes for the place to open is fighting off the other people who want to be waiting on the park bench for it to open. You've all got the shakes. Nobody's got a good fighting style.
Oh, man. Oof.
No one's happy.
No.
A lot of drunken no master.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people be going through the door most mornings at 8?
Oh, I mean, it was only like the one time I was there that I recall at before it opened. Yeah. There wasn't very many people beating down the door. I think there might have been one or two.
Okay.
Other than me and the other person I was waiting with.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that was not my idea that time. I had just gotten a ride with that person. They're like, you can stay at my place. And I'm like, but yeah, then I had to go back to like get my car, bike, or whatever the fuck I was driving. Probably a bike.
Hard times.
Those were good days. I was fit. I'd often bike around with a big beard and long hair, just like smoking a menthol 120 on the bike, and people are like honking at you.
Yeah.
I remember that exact like fucking long hair stuff, like biking over to it was Cassidy's place, like biking over to some dude's place. It was like 105 degrees that day. Like had to take off my shirt. So mortified. Like I would never do that. Like at a pool even or anything. It's not something I'm inclined to do, but I fucking did it. And because I'd have to wear a backpack everywhere, just sweating into the backpack. But just like getting honked at and stuff. And it's like, I feel like this is mean spirited, but I just I'm going to try and do a quick conversion into my head that they think this is a pretty cool thing you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just going to treat them all as nice greetings.
Yeah. Like, ooh, look at him sweat real good.
You're doing it, buddy.
It's like that backpack, can you imagine? It's getting heavier by the minute with all that sweat pouring into it. Real little tiny Hercules going by.
Real skinny Hercules.
Yeah, you fucking salute him, Tommy, as he goes by. It's not every day you're going to see that.
I've seen Born on the 4th of July. I know what a Vietnam vet looks like. Aging gracefully.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that'd be such a backhanded compliment. They think you're in Vietnam.
Well, yeah. In those days, too. I
was
could
born in
particularly
1988.
I'm 24.
Like, woof.
Well, yeah. And that's it. That's no apology, just a woof back in the car.
They're like, this guy went through his own personal Vietnam, and it seems like it might have been worse than the other one.
I think he's still in country if he gets drafted.
This guy never came back. He's got the 1,000-yard stare because he is still back there right now. I look like a young fucking Viggo Mortensen or whatever from whatever movie where he's like a grizzled axe.
I've seen pictures of Rasputin, Chase, but I don't think I knew you back then.
Yeah,
I think you're a little more clean shaven by the time I knew you.
Yeah, there's some phases.
There is a picture of you that is shockingly looks like Rasputin.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It was always kind of sucked that way, too, because I heard that guy had a hell of a hog on him.
Oh, yeah, Rasputin had a legendary horn on him. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what the band Boney M named themselves after, but I know they got that Rasputin song, and I feel like there might be a connection.
Meeting a woman that's into you because you look like Rasputin, that's a red flag.
That's alarming.
Dude, it is weird, though, the number of Russian women that would, like, stare at me as I would go by.
Really?
If I'd go to, like, a Latvian market or something, I felt like Dwight Yoakam in there.
Ooh, there is my Siberian monk.
Are you a soothsayer? I guess so.
It's like, yeah, I do believe in sex magic, but those days are behind me. Tried to kill one too many times. You know? I was only poisoning myself.
You still had the long hair when I met you, but I think you were clean shaved by the time I came along. I don't think I knew full on dirtbag Chase.
Yeah, I've had some periods. I had the period where I kind of let it all go and went like the George Harrison route.
Yeah.
Long hair, big beard. Not a good beard. Big
Just
beard.
big.
Just
Yeah.
let it go. I'm like, I need people to have a visual representation
of how I feel about myself.
How distraught I am right now. I want when people look at me, I want them to be as distraught as I feel. And they were.
I want a good chance that someone's going to give me money if I'm sitting on a park bench.
Yeah, exactly. There was a fair amount of that. But then I cut the hair off first. So I donated the hair. And then I just had that big ass weird beard for a while. Because I was like, I've never had a big beard, just the beard. Let's try that. I'm like, I got nothing left. Let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Just really having fun with it, you know?
Yeah, living.
And then I looked Amish then. That didn't look good.
Like an emaciated Shel Silverstein.
I've never had a real good, exactly. I've never had a very good mustache, so it's just like chin strap.
Yeah.
I like the light in the attic's going out.
Yeah. This is where the sidewalk ends for this guy.
That's kind of a bummer.
Falling up. This guy is falling down.
This is the smartest this podcast has ever been, is right now.
Oh, this guy hasn't found the missing piece. That's for damn sure. He looks like he could use a sandwich with everything on it.
Holy shit. Finally, the guy that's talking is like, that's enough.
Somebody's like, the Giving Tree. He's like, shut the fuck up.
A Boy Named Sue, that's a song,
Yeah,
man.
okay, we're not getting into his
We're
musical
not crossing
work.
genres.
Oh, are we going to talk about Dr. Hook too, you fucker?
Meanwhile, this is all happening in front of you, trying to sleep off a hangover on a park bench.
I get it. He's a talented man. We don't.
You got your eyes closed.
Sure, some might say Shel Silverstein was a polyman, but we're not going to get into it.
I'm just waiting for the Bismarck to
Shut
open.
the fuck up.
Please cover me with the sports section. Good day.
You're stabbing my temples with your words.
Oh, holy shit.
Oof.
Oh, God.
Well, we've had a lot of laughs here today.
We always do.
We've learned a lot.
This is the laughing room.
That's why
No woman wants to get invited back to the
Want to
laughing
go to the laughing room?
That's why the door has to remain shut so that the laughter stays in, not because of the woman thing.
Holy reminding people. I shut the doors for the sound, not because I don't want women screaming.
Do you want to come to the laughing room?
No, I'm good. Never have I thought about laughing less in my lifetime.
I feel that room is named ironically.
Oh, shit.
Let's hope we can keep these laughs rolling into the evening where we'll do it for money.
Yeah. I mean, this doesn't come out till Tuesday. The people listening know how it went.
Yeah.
They were there.
They were there, yeah. I hope.
Friday was good. You know,
Friday wasn't fun.
I wouldn't call Friday like a fucking
Game
A++,
busters.
Yeah.
but like Friday was good.
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly good.
No
They
one
were
threw anything.
receptive.
Yeah. No one pulled their asshole out.
No.
Like,
I mean, sometimes you want that.
Yeah. No.
Not at a comedy show.
I mean, if someone is so overwhelmed by laughter and they just lose control, they feel that laughing isn't showing you how good you're doing, and they just panic and show you their asshole like a
Literal hysteria.
55-year-old lineman just regrets it immediately, talks to you. I just didn't. I got
Sorry, man.
They're like,
overwhelmed.
They're like, you know what? Laughter wasn't enough. God damn it, clapter wasn't enough. You get a gold star. And
or a brown one.
they just spray painted it. They were
Boy, I bet
prepared.
it's tough to spray paint your butthole. Like,
Well,
I
especially
get-
without a friend. you
Right,
know?
exactly. Doing it on your own. I get that I'm less flexible than
You have to
a
make
regular
a
man.
you have to make a contraption to spread.
so elaborate.
You have to use the ironing board for a purpose that was never intended.
Duct taping a can of Rust-Oleum on one end.
A bench vice would really be a nice thing to have.
All right. I figure if I hit the door with enough gusto, it'll knock it over just right.
Another thing to get when you're taking a tour of a house to purchase. I use that to spray paint my asshole.
It's like a Rube Goldberg machine.
The real estate agent has asked you so many times to take it down, but you insist.
Please, for the love of God,
Take down your asshole.
And they
please take down the asshole spraying station.
and no one ever asked, but you always let them know. I do it to startle regional comedians.
It's like, how do you own a house?
I inherited it from my bachelor uncle.
Yeah, it's like that. Okay, that's who you learned it from, isn't it? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
We used to just sit out here all day and spray paint our assholes, waiting for regional comedians to come door to door selling things.
What a thing. You're selling vacuums in rural America. You knock on the door, it just opens. There's a guy spreading his asshole in the shadows of the living room.
Yeah, I'd like to think you come upon him, startling him.
Yeah.
You know, he's like jumps
Whoa.
up right at the point you see like the fucking bowling ball dropping down the thing, and like
Knocks the dominoes.
there's one of those drinking birds that's going, and then he's like, oh, let me get the door for it. And it, like the little squirts of spray paint goes just as he's like oh, now you ruined the whole
man,
thing.
I gotta set up all the dominoes again.
Hand reaches between the legs, pulls back the stencil, hammer and sickle. Social commentary on this asshole paint job. Let him bow when he just dashes off into the darkness. I don't think he wants a vacuum. I'm going to leave this flyer.
It's like I don't think he ever was gonna buy the Oric.
Oh, shit. I think I meant the actual Dirt Devil.
Someone being introduced to you as the Dirt Devil.
I think I've been waiting for a good Dirt Devil joke my entire life. I think I finally got there.
Oh, God.
That's something we just told rookie salesman about to get a rise out of him.
That's their boogeyman.
Every story is based on something.
Yeah, every joke has a seed of truth. Whew. Yeah, we'll go tell jokes tonight again. And Our show will be significantly less smart next week. Way fewer Shel Silverstein jokes. Man, that was a run. Hats off to you. I contributed nothing, so I don't know who that is. So
I got one in, then it was over.
I got no bench. You got one on the bench.
Well, you found one area that I know several references. They're few and far between.
Oh my God. Yeah, next week we'll be back to talking about pro wrestling and Arby's.
Gas station bowel movements.
The good stuff. That's what I like to say.
The literal meat and potatoes.
Somebody's going to be listening. They're going to hear a Shel Silverstein reference, and they're like, what the fuck is this shit?
I'm here for the Cenex BMs.
Yeah. They're like, they kind of had me when they were talking about Phillips gin for a while. It was like they knew what I drink when I listened, but
then they lost me with all
that book talk. Yeah.
I hear whorehound. Ridiculous.
Oh shit. Well, Chase, thanks for coming. It's
Oh,
good
thanks,
to see you, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Always a great time.
All weekend.
Yeah.
We love you. We love you to pieces. All right.
It's both heartwarming and terrifying at the same time.
That's Nathan Foxabach. All right. We'll see you next week.
See you, folks.
Bye, everyone.